All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You're listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello. Welcome back once again to Blame Your Brother. We are back after a week absence, a week away from the show. We are back once again. Blame Your Brother. Glad to be back. We will talk about that in just a minute, all the fun things that happened while we were out. But hey, this is episode 149. We're so glad to be back, and we do this every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Come hang out with us at blameyourbrother.tv. That will take you to all the streaming sites where you can watch the show. And we're ready to get started. There are three of us that come to you every week. I am one third of that trio. I am David, a.k.a. D. Brew, voice of the people, Mr. 40% Scat Man. And I'm joined by this man who sits to the left of me. It's my brother. It's Lee.
What up, everyone? I don't even know what my name is, but I know that I am LeBron's safety pin.
And then we have this gentleman who sits over to the right of me. It is John.
John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right, there we go. Three of us, David, Lee, John, ready to broadcast for an hour or so. And we are excited to do it. Like I said, we were off last week. I was out of town, 4th of July. We'll get to all of that in just a second. But, hey, we start off the same way. 2 weeks ago, we recorded a show that is one of our most popular downloaded shows of all time, international. This thing was blowing up in, you name a country overseas, it was downloaded. It was crazy. I think it had to do with deep nudes, but we're going to ask, like we do, we're going to make room for us to apologize. Take anything back we said, anything we left off. Apologies, retractions, omissions. Lee, is there anything you wrote down in your notebook?
I did, but I cannot even understand what that is. A1 Polo?
I don't know.
Apollo?
I don't know what that is.
Polio, maybe?
Maybe.
Did we say something about the polio vaccine, possibly?
Probably, I don't know. But, yeah. So
It's
you got
been a
nothing?
long time. I feel like it's been a long time to even understand.
Okay. So you're good.
I'm good.
Clean. All right. John.
I can't remember that far back, so.
Well, we talked about deep nudes, so if we offended you by that, sorry, but obviously it brought a lot of people in, so maybe we need to discuss more of that in the future. I don't know. But
just Deep Nudes podcast.
There you go. That's it.
We covered the deep nude, deep fake news, updates, programs, stuff like that.
Sounds good. I'm all about it. So, all right, well, we will get started then. Like I said, we were off for a week, and I can get into what I did, but we'll start with Lee. Anything stand out for you that happened over the last few weeks?
I, too, was a traveler on vacation.
Okay. Where did you go?
I went to the great land of Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg.
Okay. And any stories to tell? Have
you ever been to Pigeon Forge?
I go I used to go every year, but now we go every couple years. But we used to go there every year for Thanksgiving. So
I'm not a huge fan.
Why not?
So I asked you, have you been? So
yeah, I love it.
Obviously.
Love it.
So, okay, a couple things. First off, some of my family inherited a timeshare.
Okay.
So right off the bat,
Yowza.
You're already dealing with that, right? So, we've talked about this before, but when you're in a group of people and you look around, like you're talking about them, and then you have to realize that you're part of that group, there weren't a whole lot of attractive people. And if they were the international visitors or whatever. So then I realized toward the end, I was like, I am these people.
It's interesting that you would bring up attractiveness. John, you say your big thing is everyone's attractive. The whole world's attractive. Is that not what he said, John?
Yes.
I said personality-wise. But
oh, no. You talk about the 400-pound woman frequently. Okay, it's so much I almost made a T-shirt.
Well, it's funny it's funny you bring that up because I was talking about their emotional and mental attractiveness.
No, you weren't.
Just now.
No, you lie because you talked about international people, and I know you didn't talk to them, so you're a liar.
It was the accents.
So
it's their accents.
Write it down. You just lied at the start of the show. It's fine, Lee. There's nothing wrong with saying people are attractive. We were watching The Handmaid's Tale last night. Me and my wife were.
Okay.
She looked at me, my wife. She looked at me at one point and goes, everybody on this, the lead actress who is, I can't think of her name, but she was on Mad Men. And she goes, she is very plain looking. I went, Yeah, which is kind of a problem for the show because she's supposed to be like the most coveted handmaid there is. Is it handmaid or handmaiden?
Handmaiden, I believe.
Handmaiden.
Maybe handmade.
Whatever. Who cares? She's the most desirable one there. I said it would make more sense if like she was more attractive. And if you don't watch the show, it's set in an alternative future where the religious right took over America, and so women are forced to be pretty much sex slaves to bear children because there's a fertility problem in the world. And if you're a woman that can have a child, they basically have kidnapped you and made you a slave. And she is like desired by Captain A, Captain B, by this guy. And I'm just like, all right. And then I looked at her and said, you know what? No one on this show is really that attractive. So I don't know if that's intentional. Maybe because of that time, there's no makeup or anything. Maybe there's deeper things. That could be what it is. But it's all right to say people are attractive or not. It's what we base the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, Playboy, Victoria's Secret, all these things, Instagram, a whole social media.
Don't say we. Don't say we.
You're not on Instagram, huh?
No, I'm not.
Interesting. Your statement to me, don't pull a Corey right here. Your statement to me is you are not on Instagram.
Pull up my post history on Instagram.
I
dare you to pull up my post. You know why? Because you can't do it.
So there
is no post history on Instagram.
But you are on it.
I mean, I've downloaded the app.
You are on it and follow people.
I've looked at it before.
And you've liked posts from Blame Your Brother.
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not Blame Your Brother.
It's really going nowhere, but I know you have one, so whatever. You want to stick with your lie.
Anyway, the point that I was trying to make is Pigeon Forge is just a very delightful place, and the only place that I choose to vacation ever. But I will say this. I was able to... I don't typically ever support the concept of a bucket list. Okay. You know, people have bucket lists.
Sure, yeah.
And for years I was like, I don't want to, that's stupid, right? Okay. But I finally figured out at some point that I could use my bucket list as an opportunity to take advantage of people just by saying things like, oh, but that's on my bucket list, right?
Okay.
So I was able to procure a bucket list item in Sevierville, Tennessee.
Which was what?
A cane sword.
Oh, my God.
I've always wanted a cane sword.
Why?
Because you really can tell me right now that you don't want a cane sword?
Yes, with 100% accuracy and certainty, I do not want a cane sword. Never have, never will. This is not medieval times. This is not feudal Japan. I don't know what you're walking around with a sword for. Number one, you're going to get smoked in public. Most of the mass shootings, there are no sword killings in America. Okay.
All right. So I'm not wanting to kill anyone.
What are you wanting to do with it?
John, back me up here.
He can't.
Back in the day, I would agree with you.
Right, there you go.
But in the last 10, 15 years, no, you're on your own. But yeah, when I was like a teenager in high school stuff, I thought, it'd be kind of cool to have a sword stashed in a cane.
Oh my God!
Okay,
so you and teenage John, you're like sticking straight.
We're joining hands together,
So,
like that meme, you know.
Silver Nike, pink Garth Brooks shirt, John, Rat Tail John. And you with your cane sword. Now, you guys are living the life, man. You are the two of the best dudes that have ever walked the face of the earth. I love it.
Look, I understand that when I was buying it, I felt weird. I was like, I shouldn't be buying this right now. I'm a child, but that's fine. I'm blaming it on the bucket list. It's on the bucket list, right? If it's on your bucket list, you add it as a teenager. Cane sword. You can't just pull it off, right? Have you never wanted to buy something that everyone else was like, you have no need for that?
Yeah, silver Nikes.
It's a teenage John made a lot of bad decisions.
You and teenage John and your bucket list are probably amazing. I mean, is there anything I ever purchased that everyone said no? I mean, I've got some probably dumb stuff on, sure, but nothing along the lines of a cane sword.
Okay, I'm going to pull it out, and then you are going to be amazed, and you're going to be like, wow.
I hope you're still talking about the cane sword.
Had a cane sword.
So Cherry Barbarian says she supports your cause. Now, she is an avid D&D player, so maybe there's that to it. Maybe you're like, maybe one day we'll be walking down a dungeon.
Is it a +2 cane sword?
I think it is. It's got that Sevierville magic on it. But here's the thing. I'm just going to start walking around the neighborhood with a limp, you know?
And I'll find some orcs on my street, and I will pull up the sword and roll a 10 to strike them down.
Was it forged in Pigeon Forge?
Oh, my God. John, your wife says in chat she has samurai swords.
She does. I have a couple.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, wait a minute now. Why do you have samurai swords?
Because I bought them when I was like 18 or 20.
Why do you have samurai swords plural? And how many do you have in your house?
Well, the ones I have they're smaller. They're almost like basically glorified letter openers.
Oh, so they're letter openers. Okay, John, that's
Wait
not a
second.
samurai
That's
sword,
not a
brother.
sword. You
But
can't call a letter
Robin
opener
has
a
like
sword.
legit ones. But they're
How many are in your house? just-
she's got a legit sword, and she's got I think 2 samurai
A
swords.
legit sword?
So 3.
What are you talking about? A legit sword?
One that's
what does
not-
that even mean, John?
like a broadsword.
Like you had it made by some ninja?
I didn't
master?
have it. She it was hers.
A Tori Hachi
Yes,
or whatever. from
I
Kill
present
Bill.
this to you, Robin Totorello, the Atoria Tachi samurai sword. What are
That
you
would be pretty cool.
That would be a bucket list item.
I want a samurai sword too, but I would rather have a cane sword for sure.
3 set of 3 in John's house. Just note that for the record, people.
I kind of want to know the story of why you have a set of 3.
Now I want a shirt.
Set.
I want a shirt now with you with your stupid cane sword, John with the stupid samurai sword,
letter
and
opener.
me in the middle just shaking my head like, no, this can't be allowed. This is Trump's America. It's coming to you right now. You guys are the worst. You know, like I
How
took
are we
off
the
a
worst
week.
for things that we own?
This is terrible. This is
I
bad.
thought the cane sword was an excellent purchase. Honestly, I actually went looking for it. That's not something you just casually stumble upon. I was like, it's time for a cane sword.
Well, somebody would buy that shirt, so maybe that'll be our next shirt. We can get someone to sketch that. Oh my God, this is terrible. Okay, so you went to Sevierville, you had a good time with the family, and you were around ugly people. Fantastic. All right, John, what about, did you do anything? I mean, it was 4th of July while we
I
were
was
gone.
around ugly people too.
Oh my God. Go ahead. Finish your joke. Go ahead. Finish your joke.
Spent the day at my sister's house.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
I think
listen.
most of your family is watching right now.
probably.
They listen too. Your brother's watching. Your wife's watching. I know some of your family listens. Go ahead. keep
Yeah.
t-
Anyway, so we went to the fireworks store, got some fireworks, and we set off some fireworks in the backyard. I felt like a kid again. It was fun setting them off. Getting crazy, twisting fuses together so you can set off more than one off at the same time, just things like that. And
Nice. All right.
it was fun.
Cool. There you go.
Did
Good
you,
times.
Did you wear any like American apparel?
I wore red, white, and blue colors, but nothing like "Go America." No,
Do you
none of that.
own like American flag apparel?
I don't think I do.
Don't lie.
This
I'm-
shirt's
at this
getting
point,
better.
at this point, I've got bashed for owning things that are my wife's.
No
so,
way.
I
at
bet
this point-
David owns quite a bit.
American like shirts, like
American flag apparel.
The closest thing I own to anything American is a American Apparel shirt, black shirt. I've worn on the show multiple times. It's got a wolf on it with an American flag, like symbol, and
It has a wolf on it?
yeah.
How have we missed this, John?
I've worn it many times,
But nobody that has a wolf shirt gets to make fun of someone for buying a cane sword.
but I
That's
wear it
for sure.
ironically. I'm not wearing
Sure,
it to
sure
be
you
like.
do.
No, I've never worn anything like "God bless America," where at least I know I'm free. I mean, this is not me. I'm not that guy.
You are that guy.
I don't know if I maybe have like 2 or 3 red shirts total. I don't wear white ever, and I don't wear that color blue that's on the American flag. So if you watch the show, I'm usually wearing some dark blue or black shirt. So do you own any of these shirts since you're Mr. Big Shot Bob over here?
No,
Huh. Okay.
definitely not.
Well, Vinny said you had Captain America underoos. Do you still have those, John? He's thinking.
I've never had Captain America underoos.
All right. Well, what are you lying? Okay.
I did one thing I want to talk about, and that I saw the best Trump hat.
Okay.
It was Trump 2019. It was red.
Okay.
Trump 2019.
Okay. All right.
Keep America great.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of make America great again.
That's his new slogan, though,
Yeah, it
for
is.
2020.
No, I didn't realize
Keep
that.
America great.
That guy had like the
We've-
beta
we've-
test. I
We've,
guess.
wait a
we've
minute.
gotten to greatness again.
Wait a minute. You just said on microphone you saw a cool Donald Trump hat. That means you would be willing to wear it on the show if we bought it for you.
I also said.
Did he say
I
that?
also said Pigeon Forge was my favorite place to vacation. Just for the record.
You love the MAGA hat. You want it in your life. I'll get it for you.
I just say things ironically.
Okay. I mean, that's not. I would not put irony next to the Trump MAGA hat. I don't think people would catch
I
the
wouldn't
irony.
put irony next to a wolf T-shirt, so
Wolf
we're in
shirt's-
agreement on
Wolf
that.
shirt's
buddy.
badass. American
Okay.
Apparel. It's all ironic clothing there. I mean, you're not cool enough to wear it. It's cool. I
I'm
understand.
not. You're right.
It's fine. Well, let me talk about myself because I like to do that. So, no big deal. I traveled across America
Whoa, slow down.
as a great raconteur I am.
The East Coast.
That's America.
I wouldn't say across
Not
America.
across.
I took a trek across America in a van. So I'm, it is kind of American. So started off obviously in Tennessee, and then we made our way up to Ohio. We stopped in Cleveland, Ohio, went and saw the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, cool story. Let's move on. We got
And
some segments to
I
get to.
love the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's fantastic seeing all the great history there. My favorites, the Ramones, John Lennon, a lot of the Beatles stuff, Jimi Hendrix stuff, you name it. It was there. If you love rock and roll and you just love that history and you want to see all the artifacts over there and read about it, it's definitely a true bucket list item would be, and mine was to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So,
all right, what was your
across
favorite?
that, I saw one of the Johnny Ramone's original guitar 2 feet from me. If I could have just grabbed it and played it for like 2 seconds, I would have went out in a blaze of glory.
Was it plexiglass or whatever?
Yeah, it was plexiglass and a Ramones jacket. If I could have just grabbed those 2 items,
Bro,
I'm done.
if you had a cane sword, you could have whipped that out and sliced the plexiglass open
have.
and just grabbed it.
Yeah, could have.
You're coming around. You're
next
coming
life,
around.
next life, I'll put it on the list.
You
But
guys can nick another trip,
but
Heist.
while we were in Ohio, if you didn't know this, and my wife's from Michigan and her family's from Michigan, and I've known people from both. Ohio is a place full of jerks. Truthfully, I mean these are some rude people from Ohio. The drivers are the worst. The people are not very nice. There's none of the, a lot of the southern civility of a nice, hey, I'll let you out in traffic. What, the nice wave. Where did the wave go? Where is it? Did it just disappear with these millennials coming around now? I mean, John, what do you think about the wave when someone lets you into traffic?
I think you deserve a wave or something.
Lee, wave or
thumbs
not? Are
up
you a
or
waiver or
something.
not?
What are you even talking
So
about?
you're sitting
Waving
in
people
traffic. So you let someone in. They give you the wave. They just kind of put their fingers up, give you a little wave, and then they come back and they wave back at you.
It depends how
You
they've
do
been
it-
driving. If they haven't done anything stupid, I give them the wave every time.
So you do
unless I'm in, unless
no, you don't give them no.
It depends on the traffic conditions. It's not an automatic wave.
Are you from the South, brother? You don't give them the wave. They give you the wave because you let them into traffic. They're saying thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. You don't wave to them.
I've always had
Hey,
people
what's up,
waving
buddy?
to get in. That's what I.
No.
That's what I've
That's not
always
what he's
seen.
talking
The
about.
thank you wave, the nice little gesture.
Oh,
of the
I'm
hands.
giving them the wave when I get over.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give people the
Okay,
wave
thank
every
you.
time.
Ohio, they don't do it. They just pull out in front of you. And I had a moment where I almost had a meltdown. And I had to just take a breath and slow down and went, I'll be out of this crappy state soon enough. Ohio, kiss my ass.
No, there's
Terrible. No,
there's-
it's
there's
bad.
places-
It's bad. Okay?
I feel like Michigan is worse.
Cherry Barbarian says, as a native Ohioan, we've always been jerks since we became a state. Fact, it's true. Been said, done, moving on. We're not going to talk about that stupid state anymore.
I think there's actually a suburb of Hawaii where you can buy a house for like $15,000.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Hawaii.
No,
What is he-
Ohio?
Oh, I was about to say Hawaii. I was like,
He literally said Hawaii.
I was like-
I
I
don't
was
know
like, well,
why
next-
I said Hawaii.
hey, next,
Let's go.
next week, brother, we're broadcasting from Hawaii. No, okay, so Ohio, we're done with that.
I've heard in Hawaii they just wave
Yeah, they do.
in
all the
traffic.
time.
They just wave.
Just
Yep.
the best people. So then I went to the glorious state, the best state, one of the best states for
Can
sure.
we guess?
Yes. Well,
Tennessee.
I mean, you obviously know where I went.
New
Came
York.
Came back to Tennessee.
New York, baby. New York, the greatest state in America. Okay?
What is it? The greatest city or the greatest state? What makes it the greatest
I'm talking
state?
state.
What makes it such a
Well,
great
because
state?
it's got New York City in it. So
Okay.
kind of, it's like if you got LeBron James on your team, you love him so much, you automatically become one of the best teams already. So I went to Niagara Falls and absolutely loved it so much. I feel as I get older now, I love going places where nature is like the theme of where we go, like Colorado. Just loved it. Loved seeing all the mountains, the sights. In Niagara Falls, I had a moment where I was standing underneath this waterfall, and the water was just coming down upon us where you could get real close to it, and I was just in heaven. I took this amazing picture that just summed up. There's a rainbow over me, and I got my hands up, and life is good, and I just loved it. I loved it so much. I love seeing it. I just feel there's power to nature that we take for granted because we all live in cities now. We don't see it a lot of times. That's why I still I like rainstorms. I like the rain. I like seeing things like that. So loved it. Did not remember much of it. we obviously went as kids. We talked about last week's episode. Don't remember much from childhood, but I will take this memory with me.
Did they still have the champagne hot tubs?
No, not that I was aware of.
That's
Did
a
not
shame.
go to the Canadian side, but hey,
That's
whatever.
a champagne.
Then we took a little trip over to I don't know if you heard of a place called Pennsylvania, another great state, one of the originals of America. And we saw some lighthouses there, went up into a lighthouse, looked over the beach, could see it. It was amazing. These places are unlike here. We have nothing.
We have the Smoky Mountains.
We have bachelorette parties, and we have bing, 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 honky tonk downtown. These places are authentic. They're real. You can see the history there. There's no history here. There's nothing. Hey, Tootsie's was around in 1902. It's like, awesome, dude. Cool story. Let's move on, you know? And so, but we did go to, so that was Erie.
You're about to get cane sword.
Erie,
right here on air.
Are you from there? Erie, Pennsylvania, thumbs up. Pittsburgh, you suck as well. Terrible people. They're the worst. It's called the armpit of America because you people are trash, okay? The streets are literally on inclines everywhere you go.
I know.
Uphill both ways.
It's crazy. I'm like,
It
what?
is.
Fix the roads. Have you ever heard of engineering? No, because you're too stupid to pass engineering classes. This was just a group of blue-collar people going, let's build some roads. We're just going to go straight up, and we'll just come straight on down, boy. I don't know why they're Southern in the story, but I can imagine that they are. But, yeah, I went to Pittsburgh. Not much to talk about. Went to a museum, but it was fun. But I had a wonderful time. It was a great chance for me to recharge my batteries and came back feeling very refreshed, and I loved it. You know, I missed doing the podcast last week, I'm not going to lie, but seeing the things I saw, loved it. And that was about it. I didn't do anything special for the 4th of July. There were some fireworks at Niagara Falls that we saw that were absolutely beautiful, but a lot of foreign people there, so you would have loved it. A lot of Indians there. A lot of Indian people.
The same at Pigeon Forge.
So I don't know. And they were all super nice. I mean, everybody was cool. Like, you're talking to people, you know, they're half English, but they're like, this is awesome. Like, this is very awesome. And it's like that bonding moment right there that makes America great. Not that Trump did it. I think it happened because we're a melting pot. But that's what makes America great. Being able to be around other people and just enjoying those moments. So that was my vacation. Absolutely loved it. But a lot of things happened while we were out. First off, we had the Twitter poll of best meteorologist in Nashville. Now, we do have a special announcement. Next week, we will have News 5, very own Leland Statham, is coming into the studio to record an episode with episode 150. We'll have Leland Statham, which is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait for that. So we had a poll. And we asked who was the best morning meteorologist in Nashville. And so the people we had Jared from News 2, Jared Plushnick. We had, let me think of all the names here. We had Leland Statham from Channel 5. We had the guy from Fox 17, don't remember his name. And then we have, oh my God, I can't remember her name right now. I'm blanking. The new lady on News 4, who I actually like a lot. Sorry, I can't think of her name. But obviously, it was a very close battle. There was over like 900 votes or something. This poll was out of control, man. It was a lot of people voted on it. And unfortunately, our guest next week, Leland Statham, came in second. Jared Plushnick won, gave a speech on Twitter to celebrate his win. I told Jared, I was like, Laura Bannon's the lady on News 4. Fantastic. I love 4 in the morning. But he gave a speech. I told him we'd send him a shirt. I DM'd him. He never responded to us. So, Jared, if you're listening, ball's in your court. Just tell us what size you want, and we'll send you one out. I mean, I don't know. But 755 people showed up to take this poll. That's pretty wild if you think about it. Jared Plushnick pulled it out in the end, 43% to Leland Statham's 41%. So what do you guys think about it? Are you familiar with these people or not?
So what about Justin Chambers?
He's terrible.
That's your statement?
He's not interested. I don't like him. I stopped watching Fox 17 because he's on there. I don't like.
What if he's watching right now?
Then I don't care. I'm entitled to my opinion. I mean, I don't watch News 2 because of Neil Lauren. I mean, what are you going to do about these things? I hate it for him, but you like what you like, you know? So what do you think? You think Leland should have won, Lee?
I think there was some last-minute vote fixing.
Huh. Oh, so you're saying Jared cheated?
I mean, I'm not saying he cheated, but he definitely had a marketing team behind him, you know?
Huh.
A lot of retweeting, a lot of begging, I believe.
Yeah.
No, I think I heard some begging.
Yeah.
Please vote for me.
Hey, I mean, that's part of the game, though, right? I mean, so John,
I think Jared had the edge because he does a lot of the radio stations as well.
look at John. So anyways, fun poll. You know, three of them are great. Okay, that's what I can say about it. Three of them are fantastic, and I cannot wait to talk to Leland Statham next week. So if you have questions for us, hit us up right now and let us know what. So what's the deal with Neil Orn? Well, real quick, Neil Orn, many years ago when I was doing my first podcast, I invited him to be on that podcast, and he said, "Yeah, man, give me a call, dude." And so I called him like 17 times. He never answered the phone. He was obviously dodging me, and I've held a grudge ever since. And so I just don't like him either.
Did you call him 17 times in a row?
No,
like
it was spread out.
Freaky, awkward dude.
No,
Please, Neil, return my call.
I should have. Maybe he would have.
Well,
but
you ghosted me.
the truth is, if Neil Warren wanted to come on the show, I would talk to him. But he would have to apologize for dodging us years ago. We've talked about it with every News 2 guest we've had, pretty much. I mean, I don't know if we talked about Bob, but the other ones we did. So just wanted to give that poll out. Congratulations, Jared. You are, when I do watch 2, which I flip really out in between all of them if you want the truth, because I can name a lot of people on them. I like Jared. I like Laura. I like Lee. And they're all great. So there you go. Thanks for voting, Blamers, and everybody else that jumped in. All right. Well, news. Now, one of my favorite parts of the news is when Lee gets to send someone off to the eternal plains, where he rips someone, because if you didn't catch, Lee thought R.I.P. was actually RIP. He thought that's what people were actually saying when they died. He thought they were saying RIP to the person. So, Lee, who is going to get the RIP of the week? Go ahead.
Rip of the week? Is that a new segment we're doing?
It is. It's a new segment, Rip of the Week.
Well, I mean, I guess we have to give Rip of the Week to our friend Ross Perot.
Ross Perot passed away at 89 years old. Billionaire tycoon, 2-time presidential candidate. Start with John. John, what are your thoughts of, obviously, Ross Perot?
I mean, I can't help it. The first thing I think of when I think of Ross Perot is Dana Carvey.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, Saturday Night Live.
I'm curious.
Impression.
Lee, what do you think of Mr. Ross Perot?
I just remember him like being on TV, and he had like a big chart of the United States, and he's like, "I'm going to tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to take the NAFTA, and we're going to take all the imports and bring them back to America." You know, a true
not a bad idea.
He was a true Texan through. I don't even know if that's what he was saying.
Yeah, I think he was against NAFTA, which.
But I will never forget the fact that he was literally almost president of the United States of America as a third-party candidate.
I wouldn't say almost.
Almost. He had a clear majority of the votes as a unprecedented in modern times third-party candidate. And then like the week before he drops out.
That was weird. I don't think he.
And then like a couple days later, he's like, "Oh, a week later, I'm back in, guys."
He did not have the majority. He did have it was a pretty close. Yes,
it was.
You are speaking
astounding.
It was astounding for a third party.
Very good. I think he had 30%.
He had a good chance of winning.
Which 30% between 3 people, yes, is very good.
At the last minute,
You're
people.
right. I do remember that he did drop out. I always remember Ross Perot. I think of his vice presidential candidate, Mr. Stockdale, General Walter Stockdale. This guy went to the vice presidential debates, and I've never seen anyone. We could bring a 2-year-old on the show, and they would give a better performance than Mr. Stockdale gave. He looked like he was the most nervous man in America. I think at one point he was like, "What am I doing here? Who am I?
What do I do with my hands?"
And they mocked him on Saturday Night Live, which everybody remembers. Somebody tweeted us about it because I put a little thing out that he passed away, and he said the skit they always think of is when I believe Phil Hartman played him. I'm pretty sure, and Dana Carvey was in the car, and he made Walter get out and run behind him in the car.
Oh yeah,
fantastic skit. But this guy really he changed the revolution of politics in a sense because Mr. Carvel, Clinton's campaign guy. Southern guy, bald, you probably recognize him, politically savvy, said that he pretty much gave way to allowing Trump to be in office right now. He provided the blueprint for someone like that to get into office. So whether you like Trump, whether you don't, I mean, he did have some kind of factor into it as a non-politician.
So
that,
the man has barely been dead even a week, and you're telling
besmirching his name.
You're colluding with Russia with Twitter bots.
Well, interesting to say because Actually, he donated to Trump 2 times.
Changing
He donated
voter records?
He donated to Trump's campaign twice. The maximum
Let the
amount.
man rest in peace.
Brother, he stood for his beliefs. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, he seemed like a good guy to me. So let's send off the man.
I'm not even sure they had Twitter back then.
Huh? Twitter? Did I say Twitter?
You said he laid out the campaign for Trump's victory.
Yeah, well, not the idea of it.
The only he won was
I think
Russian
Trump
collusion.
rested more on Facebook than Twitter, by the way. I mean, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, send the man off properly.
Ross Perot, blame your brother. Rips you.
Oh, wow. God dang it. All right, there we go. Rest in peace, Ross Perot, and then also Rip Torn, which is the best rip ever. Rip Torn.
Squared.
Yeah, Rip Squared passed away. I mean, you may recognize him. A lot of people recognize him from the Larry Sanders Show. He was also in Dodgeball, where he gave the infamous quote,
If you can dodge a wrench,
you can dodge a ball. Very good. So, yeah, so Rip.
Rip Torn.
There you go. All right. Okay, let's get to victory celebrations. Did either of you happen to watch the U.S. women's soccer team win the championship? John, did you watch any of the game?
I did not watch any of the games, period, leading up to it.
Lee, did you watch?
I'm not sure I've ever watched a women's soccer match before.
Very, very interesting. So you've never watched a
I've
women's soccer match?
Misogyny
Interesting. Oh,
Misogyny.
really?
Hold on, you didn't let me finish.
Oh, really?
I was gonna say I've only watched
What
like
he wants to say
two.
is, can I finish?
Can I finish here, guys? May I get a chance?
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
I know I'm a third seat here.
Go ahead.
I've only watched like 2 men's soccer matches.
Oh,
in
so
my
you have
life.
watched men's but not women's. Thank you. Okay, so
Misogyny alert.
thank you.
How is
Misogyny
so?
alert.
So here's the deal. Like
Misogyny alert.
you're making it into a women's man issue.
It is.
How?
Because you don't think
No,
they're-
if I'm not making it into a women, like I'm not saying I didn't watch it because it was women's, but you're like always you're going around like trying to like prod people into misogyny, and that's just not the case. I'm just not that
Misogyny
interested
alert.
in soccer.
It's fine.
Misogyny
If you don't
alert.
like the women's, I watched it,
Misogyny
people.
alert.
I watched the game. It was marvelous. I watched a lot of women's soccer. Let me tell you this: more entertaining than men's soccer, without a shadow of a doubt. These women can play. It was an awesome game. Me and my boys watched it the entire game. We loved it. And when what's her name? I can't remember her name. now.
Oh yeah,
Megan-
you're a real fan.
Megan I can't say her name, but when Megan, who we'll talk about in just a second here, scored the first goal on a penalty kick, the game was over.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Prior to this, how many women's soccer games have you watched?
I watch every World Cup every year. It comes every 4 years, my friend. So-
Every 4 years.
Yes, sir. Mia Hamm.
Back to
Mia Hamm.
to the birth of.
Well, no, I mean, since I was an adult. Mia Hamm, I watched at least twice, so that goes back at least 8 years because a
So,
buddy.
but
of
you
mine-
only watch it because America's involved.
yeah, of course. I mean, I watched other games though.
So you don't really care about the soccer. You just care about the America. You got your lone wolf
No, I
shirt
just
on
said.
up at the Buffalo Wild Wings with your boys. I'm sure one of your boys was wearing a MAGA hat too. I almost guarantee it, right?
No, but funny enough, I was coming back through Kentucky on my trip, and we went into a Culver's, and there was a guy wearing a MAGA hat, and you can notice it the minute he walks in the restaurant. You know, I was like, "Whoa, that's a bold choice there, brother," in my head. And he was going to sit down. This couple walked by. They go, "We like your hat, boy. God bless America." And he's, "Thank you." I was like, "Oh my God, we're there, baby."
You were with your people. You had your hands up in the air.
Yeah. All right, so I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce Megan's name. Oh no, that's wrong. Okay,
Looks
because
like
I
you're
want
getting an
I
ad.
want to talk to her talk about her for a minute. I don't know if you guys been.
Rapino?
Oh, it is Rapino.
Rapino.
Very good. Okay, Megan Rapino scored the first goal. Then Rose Lavelle scored the second goal. Game over. Big celebration. Great. Loved it. I love what Netherlands was good. They beat Germany, knocked out the Nazis. So good for them. I hate Germany. I can never
They're
root for
not
Germany.
Nazis, man.
Yeah, they're always Nazis to me. I can never.
You were on one tonight,
I
brother.
can never support Germany in any sport. I don't understand how people support them. It's just they're Nazis, man.
They're not. It's literally illegal to even
brothers. It's barely
pretend to be a Nazi in Germany.
It's barely 100 years old. It's literally almost less than 100 years old since Nazis were over there running the country.
When did slavery end?
Well, you could argue it's still around today, brother. So, which point? I dismiss the South too. Don't get me wrong. I can
The
start.
South. What about all of America?
Well, I don't think Hawaii had anything to do with slavery or
Yeah,
California.
well,
I
okay,
mean,
we're moving there anyway. We get a $15,000 lot, right?
But anyways, Megan, how you say her name again?
Rapinoe.
Has been pretty bold about her decision not to go to the White House, which we've talked about other athletes not going. So I'm just going to touch on that real quick. She said, "I'm not going to the effing White House," but not through Trump's invitation. She would go if AOC or if, Warren invited her. So what do you think about that, brother man?
I mean, I
Just
think
quick. I mean,
I don't really have an opinion. I mean, we get people always say athletes should play and musicians should play, but I think that if you're in the spotlight and you have strong political opinions, it's going to come out. So go for it. This is your one chance. Like, she might have another World Cup in her, right? But
probably not. She's done. I
So
think.
outside of that, she's probably not going to have another chance to voice her strong political opinions.
She will. She's political. John, what do you think about this decision?
I think it's silly. It shouldn't be about the president. It should be about America's team. That's what they are.
Thank you. Okay.
You know, and it shouldn't be about who's in the White House. It should be about the White House as a symbol of America. And you're going to support America, not necessarily the president at the time.
That's okay. Lee, you just said you don't have an opinion, so you can't jump in now.
I don't have an opinion about people.
Well, you just said I don't have an opinion on the
But
matter.
She
and
probably
now you do.
She
Okay.
probably feels very strongly that the president is a Nazi, in your words,
Okay,
and like
fair
the country is not being made great again. It's the exact opposite.
I'm not arguing that.
So if you believed like if someone like was very like if the Antichrist was the president of the United States, would you go to and you just won the World Cup? Would you go to the White House on his invitation?
It's a
you would not.
formality. I would still go because
right,
it doesn't matter who the president is. They're going to invite you to go.
Here's what I would say, and I love Reddit these days. Like I'm on Reddit like all the time now. And there was a video.
It explains so much.
Yes, it does. I saw a video where these PETA people had went inside Walmart and had their kids dressed up in like cow masks, protesting outside the milk section because milk is slavery of cows. I mean, we're not going to get into that. But anyway, and I was sitting there thinking, I read a comment which summed up what I said, and it said, imagine you have no thoughts about this subject, milk. You're like, I don't know, whatever. I could go either way. Yeah, yay or nay. You walk in and you see those people, you're automatically going to be, nope, not with them. I'm going to be on the other side. Now, I say that because if you, like Rapinoe here, or even Trump, when you get on there and say you're not going to meet with certain people or discuss topics with people that are across the aisle from you, you will never get results. I would feel, and this is just me, regardless of what you think of the man or not, and you know he's met with Kim Kardashian. He has implemented prison reform standards, whether you hate the man or not. He met with her and discussed it, and this is starting to happen. He pardoned a man, I believe, here in Tennessee, who was having who had a death penalty, or was in not death. He was in a life sentence, and he pardoned him because of meeting with Kim Kardashian. If you don't meet with the people that disagree with you and have conversations with them, how can you really expect to have any change about anything? This is an opportunity for her to sit down with Trump and go, being civil, here are the things I think are wrong with your administration. Tell me why they're not. Put a face to this thing that she doesn't think he likes. I am a human being. You know, and there's a black man that did a documentary on CNN where he went around and met with Klansmen. Now you know these people don't like black people. It's in what they are. And he convinced many of them to change their ways because it humanized a topic. And for her to go, I'm not going to the effing White House and F him and F this, and she's dropping F-bombs all over the place, which I don't like that anyway. If you're playing for children, I think you got to censor yourself a little bit, but that's my opinion. But I don't know why I say that's my opinion. Of course it is. I'm talking, but I think this would be an opportunity for her to really make some way or try to, or meet with him and go, okay, this guy's an asshole. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about it. I met with him and he is what I thought he was. That's what I think.
I mean, of course. It's hard to argue with that. If we were all born Martin Luther King Jr.'s, the world would be a wonderful place to live.
Yes.
She's born with the talent of soccer. She probably is aggressive. She is probably driven and motivated.
Right.
She probably doesn't, have that quality in her. And maybe she does. I don't know. But it doesn't sound like she does based on her comments.
Right.
So, like, yeah. whatever.
But
like
when
that
you
would
go-
be great.
But when you go, oh, I'll go if AOC invites me. It's like, all right. So then, like John said, at that point, it really is. I want to go to the White House. I just don't want to go under this person's invitation. And they had a little beef on Twitter, and I'm sure Trump was rooting against her. Like if you put him on a polygraph test, I'm sure he didn't want her to win. I did. Whatever I think
That's
about
messed up.
Well, that's my thoughts on Trump. That is not a fact, but I would imagine he did not want her to win.
Just because of their beef?
Yes, because he had to eat crow after it was done. But congratulations to them. And then the fact came up that the women are making less than the men. And hey, just get it right. I don't know why people argue against it. Some people are saying, is it true? Because sponsorship factors into a lot of it. It's really convoluted if you read about it. Pay these women. They are the national team. It's not the men. It's the women are the national team. The men have never won.
But here's the thing. I agree with you. I think the amount of money we pay athletes is insane. The amount of money we pay actors is insane. The amount of money we pay a lot of people is insane, right?
Okay.
But if men's soccer makes 100 times more money, and I don't know if it does,
Whatever
but just saying if it did,
Yeah.
if it made 100 more times money than the women's team and they were last place forever, and the women's team made 100% less and won every year,
Right.
do you still pay them more?
I would not. I mean, I think you got to compensate the women. They have brought.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be based upon the amount of money the organization is making?
Well, I think that's where people start getting into. It's kind of convoluted. It's not as you can't just say
It's not cut and dry.
they make this and this and this, and it's like that so much is sponsorship, and they don't tell how much of the sponsorship goes to what and all this. And so
I will tell you the craziest story I heard was though that they were given like old men jerseys, U.S.
when
and none of them fit, and they all had to stay up the night before and like sew so that they would fit decently, and they were used. I don't know if that's true. I didn't check the source, but I heard that as just one of the many examples of it's not even
That
necessarily
doesn't sound like it's true.
being compensated correctly. It's not even being treated as like athletes almost,
yeah. Well,
Which, you really don't believe that a lot of women athletes are not anywhere treated as on the same level as men?
An American team, I don't believe that's true.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I'll have to look it up.
they high schools can fork out the money to get girls' teams their own jerseys and stuff. America's team, they can. Now, if you're talking about a third world country where they're sharing jerseys with the men's team, maybe.
All right, John's fact checking us. I don't have the facts. We'll check it. Michael Anthony, let us know.
He will. Well, I just say congratulations to the women team. Love those ladies and all of them. The crazy thing, they're all like super attractive. They're all super fit. They're all just amazing athletes. It's great. It's great for America. It's great. There was an instance where at the end of the game, they were celebrating, and one girl had an American flag and threw it on the ground, and Rapinoe was standing right there with her, and one of the other teammates came down and grabbed it and picked it up off the ground. You can't throw the
make a mountain.
You can't throw the flag on the ground, man.
People,
I'm
people
sorry,
are just
but no.
trying to find something to yell at them about. She put the flag on the ground. It's who cares?
And then she's all like, so her quote is, if we all just loved each other, man, the world would be so much better.
But she's
You just said
F-bombs
F Trump,
yeah.
dude. You can't come out with quotes that don't match your thing. That's what we do on this show. You can't do that as a role model to people. That's stupid. So like I said, I'm not rooting for personalities. I'm rooting for athletes. If you're an asshole on the field, I don't really care. I'm rooting for you to help. Now, if you're like a child molester, yeah, I told you that's where I crossed the line at. But even Ray Lewis, if I'd been in Baltimore, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I would have been rooting for that dude hardcore. Yeah, dude, Baltimore loves Ray Lewis. Are you crazy?
That's a tough pill to swallow.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm all about that sports, not about anything else. So, all right, do we have any other news story? I think we do. We had a few up there, right? Oh, yes. So Bree Pro wanted us to talk about this story. I don't know if you've seen this video, but video shows violent family fight at Disneyland as stunned parkgoers try to intervene. I watched this clip earlier this week, and it is not good. There is a guy punching women straight in the face. Then he's punching his other dudes, and then they're just all fighting. You're hearing they've got a kid with them. The kid's just wandering around. Finally, you see another parent not involved with it, grab the child and then walk away. Somebody from the chat asked, so you were saying you wouldn't support the ladies team if they were fat and ugly? Just win, baby. Just win. I don't know that a team of fat people would do that great in
No,
soccer.
let me
truthfully. I mean, if you
let me just jump in here and say no. David would not.
Well,
he sees beauty as skin deep. Trust me,
Brother.
He doesn't care what your personality is. If you ugly,
brother,
no love.
man, you think a team of fattos would win a
No,
soccer game,
of course
John?
I don't.
Okay,
But the fact that you would even say all the women on the soccer team are attractive is repulsive.
Really, because they all agreed to be in Sports Illustrated swimsuits. So
Okay.
why
No,
would
no,
that
no,
be?
no.
Wait, they agreed. They agreed to be in it, and they're all in bikinis. So
Let them do what they want with their bodies.
So they're
but the
attractive.
fact that you would say that is repulsive to certain people. Okay, that's all I'm going to
you
say.
call an entire city ugly. So you're the repulsive one.
I
But-
call myself ugly. Okay, it is what it is.
because you realize you stepped into a hole you couldn't get out of. They agreed to be in. Don't act like these women don't know they're attractive, dude. I think that's insulting to attractive
I don't.
people. When
Yeah,
people
I
do that
don't.
as well.
I've never heard somebody like you tell them that they're attractive and they're like, "How dare you?"
I know that's silly. It's
not,
silliness.
It's not the point. That's not the point that people are responding to. It's of course people that are attractive know they're attractive. Of course, if you are on a professional sports team and you literally do nothing but train every day, your odds are you're going to be very fit and attractive.
No, not
physically.
attractive. Not necessarily. No.
Probably.
No. What are you talking? You think people work out makes them attractive? Like their attractiveness features in their face? You've lost your mind.
I think it can. It slim you up, keep you healthy. Yes, your skin becomes
John.
glowing. You know.
John.
China from WWE.
That's true. So you're
That's
saying
all I'm gonna say.
So
Right
if all
So
of
you
us,
find one case where it's not true.
If
That's
all-
off the top of my head, bro.
if all of us got buff as could be, we'd be super attractive. No, we wouldn't.
If you
No.
worked out every day, you would be more attractive than you are.
I mean, I'm already attractive, but
Yeah, I would said you would be more attractive than you already are.
But the point would be, yes, they're attractive, and there's nothing wrong with saying they're attractive. Like if you met a woman and you started dating her and you said, "Hey, you're super attractive," they wouldn't be like, "How dare you, you misogynistic pig."
the point is, let me speak, please,
I'm
without
letting you
interrupting.
Speak. I'm
Okay.
letting you speak. Go
The
ahead.
point is, if they weren't all attractive, and you make a statement like, "and they are all attractive," you are instantly. You might as well sound the misogyny alarm on yourself.
Misogyny alert.
Because you're basically saying,
Misogyny
and
alert.
if you're not attractive, the
Misogyny
win
alert.
wouldn't have mattered as much.
I didn't say that. And
You're
and
pretty
guess
much
what?
implying that.
Here's fact: they're not all attractive, my friend. So anyway, moving on.
I think David was just trying to heap compliments.
It's not a good look.
I don't really care.
Obviously,
I'm getting to a point now where I'm over 40. I don't care. Like, why are you? I saw this quote today and I loved it. It said, "Why are you going to let other people's opinions, who hate themselves, if they hate you, let it bother you?"
So
most
you're not
people-
going to change. You're just going to keep spewing vomit from your mouth no
No,
matter what.
it's not
Whether you're
vomit.
wrong, whether you're right, there's no changing
No.
for you because you're an old man and you need to
No,
get off my line.
I'm not going to change because someone says I disagree with what you just said. I'll always look at everything I say introspectively by myself, but I will not change
By
because
yourself.
the
You're not
masses.
going to listen to what other
The
people
masses,
say.
no, I'm not going to change because the masses come up and go, "We don't like what you said." Then I don't care. You obviously
That is a really poor attitude to have.
so you change every opinion if someone
I
comes up to
didn't
you.
say that.
So if you met, if you hung-
If I said something that was offensive and repulsive, and someone said that's offensive and repulsive, and it's happened to me recently. Even I'm like, oh yeah, I guess maybe it is. Maybe
don't
I'm
think that-
ignorant.
well-
maybe I do need to watch. Even if I still feel that way inside, maybe I don't need to vocalize it
John,
into the world.
was that repulsive what I said?
You saying that somebody was attractive? No.
Okay, thank
But
you.
do you think and see, that's the thing. You try to set up this straw man argument where it's like, I said someone was attractive and they were offended. That's not the
Okay,
point.
what did I say?
That is not
Go
why
ahead.
people are offended by what you say.
What-
I've
how-
already said it.
Say it again.
You're saying that if you're not attractive, the victory has less meaning.
John, did I say that or
No.
in any shape, form, or fashion?
No.
No, I did not say that.
Okay.
For you to say it is a lie. So you need to write that down and apologize.
they're all
for it.
attractive. It's like, and they're all
Brother,
attractive.
man.
Think about what that means.
What does it mean?
It's like you're putting too much importance on attractiveness.
Winning makes you attractive, brother. If
Oh,
you didn't
here we
know.
go with this. After you railed me about
No, it
saying
does.
something like that, you're going to go back and say winning makes you attractive.
Scottie Pippen is not a very attractive man, but when he won with the Bulls, he could have any model in the world he wanted and
Okay,
still
so
came
it's not. So you are not talking about physical attractiveness.
No, I am. Scottie
You're
Pippen
just
was
talking about like an aura of attractiveness
Do you want me to
because they're
list
winners.
Okay, let me list ugly men to make this an even platform. Would you want me to do that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
You're making You keep bringing up an
From
argument.
From the chat, not John. Either way, I did not hear David say anything rude about the soccer team saying they were all attractive. Thank you.
Listen, just because one person says that they were not offended by what you said doesn't mean that you didn't offend someone.
So I've got 2 people now that agree with me, and that's how many do you need, Lee? You
Okay,
need
David,
1,000
look,
people to listen.
We get it. We get it. You're never going to say anything wrong. Okay, we understand.
It's
You're
rare.
free of all blame.
It's rare.
You're absolved of all sin.
It's
We
rare.
are sorry for questioning
It's
you.
rare.
You're going to go back and you're going to not listen to anyone and reflect on your own thoughts on your own time and come to reinforce your own echo chamber. We understand.
You're a snowflake and you're offended. I get it.
I'm not the one that was offended. There was someone
You're
on
more
the chat
offended.
that
You're
was
more
offended.
offended than they are. You're more offended than they are because you're a snowflake.
Wait,
you
why?
are. You are.
Did
the
I say that I
definition.
was offended?
Yes.
When did I say that I was offended?
Would you say he's acting like he's offended, John?
I was trying to say that other people might be offended.
Did you hear what he said? He said yes.
Okay, so your lackey, let me get this right. Your lackey agreed with you. That's the synopsis. You guys have to understand. That's the synopsis of your whole logic here. It's always like, oh, one person from chat said that they agree with me. Oh, my lackey said that they agree with me. So therefore, I must be right.
I am.
Yes, Sword Cane. I always agree with David.
He disagreed with you earlier, but anyway.
Look, I understand. You guys are a little bit older, okay?
No,
you
we're
guys
not
have,
much older.
Listen, just
2
hear
years
me out.
older.
Hear me out, okay? I understand. You reflect on your thoughts by yourself and refuse to listen to other people a lot more. I get it. An older generation is used to womenizing women. I understand, okay? But the world has moved on, okay? That's all I'm going to say. It's time to start accepting that women are more and equal, okay?
Did I not just said about the women's soccer team? I said they are the team more than the men. I said that, not you.
Okay. I was just throwing that out there.
I've booked more.
I'm glad you agree with me.
Who's booked all the women guests on this show? Pretty much me, except for Becky Warren. So I've allowed women to have a platform on this program.
This is my point. Your arguments are so on shaky. Who books all the guests on the show?
Pretty much me. So
okay, so why are you saying something about I book all the female guests?
Well, let's flip the script. Let's flip the script here, David. If someone were to tell you that you were attractive,
yes,
would you feel bad about that?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
So to your point, yes, I do book all the guests. I could book all dudes if in your world where I'm this repulsive guy that only books attractive people. I guess I could do that, couldn't I?
When did I say anything close to that?
John, am I crazy
You're
right
setting
now?
up a straw man argument.
John, am I crazy?
I mean, the booking of the shows isn't a really good argument, so I wouldn't go there, Dave.
So anyway.
That's crazy talk. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to understand that you're just crazy talking.
People love it.
You're just crazy talking.
They love me, and let's get on to fights at Disneyland. Fight this family at Disneyland got into a fight. It was disgusting. Security was unable to step up and do anything about it. Does this worry you as a parent, as we've seen this at baseball games, Disneyland, in stores now? Does this, as all parents here, does it bother you as a parent? John? Do you ever worry about this happening while you're somewhere?
It's not really at the forefront of my mind.
Right.
But I mean, who expects to go to Disney World and see a fight break out in a family?
That's true.
I mean,
World Star does.
Men hitting women. So they are black, which that really has nothing to do with it because, like I said, there was a baseball fight that was put out a week before this. It was all white people, and it was pretty nasty. I mean, these people were beating the snot out of each other. This is a contained fight. This was like a large group of people. To me, it's just dumb parents, and just invested in the wrong things, like with baseball. I don't even know what's happening at this. Like, one of the girls is literally wearing a Minnie Mouse bow in her hair, like getting in a fight with these people. It's so absurd. It's so surreal. Like I said, they're kids just wandering around. Like, there's kids screaming in the background, and the cops that come out, you need to watch the video. A joke. These police explorers, they look like they couldn't handle any situation. To me, that's the more alarming part, that you're at Disney and the security team or police are not equipped to deal with this type of situation. It's kind of scary when you think about it like that.
Yeah.
Because other things could happen. What if a gunman gets into Disney? These guys are not equipped to deal with this. And those large crowds, they need to look into fixing that. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, places like that.
I think you might be slightly over-exaggerating the video a bit. It's not like the guy was punching anyone that came up to him. There's several people that come and stand behind, like, try to separate them. The guy did not punch them. And the guy did not punch them. Like, honestly,
but One guy got him on the ground, was holding him by the throat. When he gets up, he goes, "Who choked me? I'm gonna knock you out."
Of course, anyone's gonna say that if you've been choked before.
If you're a man that punches women straight in the face, yeah, you're
okay.
not a good
and
guy.
This is not a good look for Disney. Disney obviously doesn't want this. They're obviously going to step up their security game now. This went viral, so if you're worried about Disney, don't worry. Disney will take care of this. I promise you. What this means is like a few people running all our freedom. Okay, that's what it is. It's just going to be more cameras, more security.
Good.
Don't step over line. Don't step in the rock garden or they'll kick you out, you know. But the true issue for me here is that this shows just a history of violence with these people. Like you mentioned.
What do you mean these people?
What do you mean these people?
These people involved in the fight.
Oh, okay.
Like you said, their kids are literally sitting there watching them.
Yeah.
And they're like in like strollers.
No,
and the
it's
guy
bad.
is like, I mean, like I could understand, like, but if you start violently punching women in front of your kids, what role model does that set?
Well, of course.
For those kids that see that. So I'd imagine the people that are involved in this fight grew up seeing the same type of violence in their house. It's very clear, like, soon as they threw down, they like put their arms up and they're like very clear. It's like, oh, let's go. Let's be violent now.
It's bad.
So that's what you said. Bad parenting. I mean, I think it's generational violence.
These are trash people, and they need to be. Anyone that would do this would punch a woman in the face, multiple women. And see, but I'm saying that you don't punch women. Sorry, that's a line. That may be old schooly, but I don't think you go around punching women in the face.
I would take it a bit further. Actually, I would say you don't punch anyone in the face. How's that? Let's start there.
So some guy comes up and starts pushing you around. And
so if
punches
some
you.
woman comes up and punches you in the face, you're just going to let her keep punching you?
I would, yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well,
what if a woman came up and punched your kid in the face?
Well,
okay, so there are
I'd probably
lines.
choke her out. No, I'd choke her out. I
You
wouldn't
choke
punch
her out. Okay, so that choking out is okay.
So
if a guy came up and started punching me out, I would choke him out.
So you would never punch a dude.
I would
in the
choke
face.
him out.
You would never. Punch
I would
a dude.
choke him out.
Mr. Swordman.
I would cane him. I would cane sword him.
You would never punch a dude in the face.
I'm not going to say I would never punch a dude in the face, but I'm saying let's make not getting into physical altercations the baseline.
John, hit women, yes or no?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's just the baseline.
Listen, there's a difference between defending yourself, and I think it's very well defined in America, defending yourself, and then being aggressor. Yes, if someone tries to start physically punching you unconscious, you have to defend yourself, okay, or your family. That's understood.
Okay.
Man, woman, child, it doesn't matter. If someone is trying to hurt you or your family, you're going to do whatever you can to stop them.
I think
you just said you would choke them out.
So
that's worse than hitting someone in the
domestic
face.
violence.
I think when he says choke them out, I think he means restrain them to where they'll stop swinging.
Okay.
Domestic violence abuse is primarily men toward women. And if you meet someone that is a domestic violence abuser, he is a piece of trash. If you, as a man, feel the need to punch a woman in any means whatsoever, you are a bad person. That is the end of that discussion. And
I would take it a step further and say, if you feel the need to walk up to anyone that's not aggressing on you, that's not punching you, and punch someone first, you're a trash person. Okay. How's that? Can we not start there?
So boxing, do they allow men to face women in boxing matches?
I'm sure, yes.
No,
it's
they
been
do.
Done.
No, they do not.
Women and men have sparred.
No.
Yes, they have.
No, they have
fought.
not. You find this match.
You really don't think men and women have fought in a ring before?
I know they have not. And not
I know that they have. I've seen it.
No, that's a lie. Not in a sanctioned match. You have never seen
sanctioned. That. What does that even mean?
It means a committee has set rules for this fight to take place.
Look,
and
it's dude, what I'm trying to tell you is, like, you're saying someone is a trash for hitting a woman. Yes. I agree.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, let's take it a bit further and say, if you're going to hit anyone, that is trashy.
Okay.
And yes, I'm not talking about boxing matches.
No, okay,
where they've agreed to fight each other. Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about a situation where a person doesn't want to be punched.
Okay.
And someone walks up and punches them.
So if you had a friend that was arrested for assault, how much would you? And you already know where it's going. So I hope you answer honestly. If you had a friend that was arrested for assault, he got in an assault with another guy, how hard would you judge him 1 to 10? John, how hard would you judge that guy? Honestly.
I mean, I'd want the details.
Chris England fought people while we were there. Did you judge him harshly for that?
Not really.
Okay.
Yes, I don't want to hang around people that are violent like that.
You've never hung out with anyone that's been arrested for assault?
I don't want to hang around with. Once I realize that the person is going to create violence like that, I tend not to want to hang around with them. Period.
So how would you judge him 1 to 10? I mean, would you never hang
10.
out with him?
I would judge him 10 harshly, the
you
most
would-
harsh.
So Lee would
I would
never.
never-
So if you've
yes.
ever been if you've ever assaulted someone in a fight, Lee would never hang out with you.
Never.
So
Never.
That's a lie. But
But if you hit a woman, you would do the same. You're never going to hang out with anyone that's ever hit a woman.
no, never have, never will.
I don't know. I think you know some people that have hit women.
They've never told me about
Okay,
it.
well.
So anyway, that's it. That's the Disney fight. Don't hit women. That's what I'm telling you right there. So all right, John, are you ready to give advice?
No.
Here we go. Oh, okay, here we go. We're getting back swinging things.
By the time you read these lines, I'll be gone.
All right, it's time for Dear John. Lee's going to read a listener submission, and John will read it. And here we go.
This one comes in. Dear John, I have a concern as a grandmother about our youngest grandchild who is 10 years old. He is addicted to video games. When we visit, he never comes to greet us or even talk to us. Once when we were getting ready to go out to dinner, he was screaming at his mom and stomping his feet so hard that the ceiling light was shaking. We love our daughter-in-law very much, but we feel she wants to be her kid's friend and not a mom. She's a teacher and is well educated. Our son, who is also well educated, does none of the disciplining as far as we can see. We can't figure it out. The grandson is only 10 now, but he won't be long until he's 13. I am afraid he will get violent with his mom or even hurt himself. Should we mind our own business and just look away? We have never interfered in our children's business from worried grandparent in the South.
Oh, boy.
He's 10. He's going to be into video games, but I get what you're saying. I mean, it is a problem nowadays where kids won't raise their eyes up from their phones or from the TVs or whatever it is. And but I mean, it's really not your call. I mean, it's really up to the kids' parents to really make a difference. And they have the ability. I mean, they're just giving in to these kids. So I mean, if it's really bothering you that much, you need to say something to your son about it. I mean, he's closer to you. Don't bash on your daughter-in-law. Go to your son first if it's really bothering you that much. Otherwise, I mean, it's a moot point.
Are you worried about afraid he will get violent with his mother or even hurt himself? Do you think there's any truth to that? Is video games?
Violence? No, I don't think so.
So can you?
I think the worst thing that he might be having a little temper tantrum when you try to take the game away, but the games aren't the source of violence. It's something else. If he's going to be violent, it's not the games.
All right. So basically, what should she do then? To sum it up, she should just not get involved.
Talk to your son about it. Say, hey, just curious. Why is this happening? What's your take on it?
But then aren't you kind of stepping into their family dynamic?
That's why you ask questions only. You don't say, hey, you're doing this wrong.
All right. Fair enough.
Or maybe that's the problem.
They're not getting involved enough?
Yeah. Maybe the parents, like, it's kind of hard to tell because sometimes certain kids, I mean, kids have personalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some kids are going to be harder to control than others. So some kids are naturally going to be prone to tantrums or even violent, or passive, right? But we can all agree to that. Different kids have different personalities.
Sure.
But, I think a grandparent has spent a lot of time raising kids. They understand what works, what doesn't work, what stages of life you would hope.
Maybe they don't. Maybe
maybe
why
they
it's happening.
don't. maybe it's a generational failed through
Maybe
multiple generations.
Maybe it is.
But yeah, I mean, I think if the parents do feel like something's not right, that they should voice their concern. I don't think they should just ask questions.
I mean, our son, who is well educated, does none of the disciplining in the house. That's kind of alarming.
That is alarming.
I mean,
Why is that alarming?
Because it should be 50-50. It should be
right. Why are you having one parent do all the discipline? That's
be
very bizarre.
A team and everything.
Now, are you disagreeing with that?
I have no idea.
Do you 50-50 with your wife?
I have a small child that doesn't need to be disciplined.
Is y'all's plan to do 50-50%?
I don't know. We're gonna
You've never discussed.
figure it out as we go.
What do you think in your mind?
I think that there will be time for both, but I mean,
Okay,
also
thank you.
they're also saying that they don't know. So there's a lot of bullet holes in
I mean,
this
they're
whole.
not. I mean, the kid's not at the house 24/7. So I mean, I don't think they know 100% that their son's not doing any of the disciplinarian. But if he's not, what did they do?
But what's
Wrong.
wrong with one parent only doing one of the? Like, what is the danger of that? Like,
well,
or what if you're a
One's
single
a good
parent?
guy, one's a bad guy. It's not.
one parent gets to be the good guy all the time. The other one's the bad guy all the time. That's going to cause resentment as they get older.
But is that going
Eventually-
to cause bad behavior in the kid?
Yeah.
Apparently it is.
How does it come about?
I would
Well,
say
if they
he-
need something, they're going to go straight to dad. Ask him only because he's
Right.
always going to say yes.
He's just going to say, go ask your mom. But that's not discipline. That's not what discipline is. That's like asking for permission. That's not what disciplining is.
But that does lead, as I have 3 children now, I can tell you that they know who to go to for certain questions. They know who's hardline on this subject and this subject. And they're not dumb. Kids are not stupid. I have an 11-year-old, and he knows if he needs a certain thing, he goes to mom. If he needs this certain thing, if it's about video games, he's going to come to me, obviously, because I'm a video game guy myself. He knows if it's things I'm not into, he's probably going to go to mom. And it works like that. But if I was the one doing all the discipline in my house, it's parent. It's a team effort.
They're going to end up disliking
Yeah.
the mom
Right.
as an adult. It's going to create a rift.
I don't think that's the issue that they wrote in about, though.
Well, they wrote it. I mean,
So you think these
subconsciously or not.
tantrums are caused by single disciplining parent?
I'm not in the house. I'm just based on.
But that's what you're saying.
Well, she wrote it. Obviously, she took the time to write this
I'm
and send it
saying
in, and
any
it's in there. I
any
mean,
family where only one person is doing the disciplinary actions, it's not a well-oiled machine.
I would agree. I don't know, but that's it. So
counseling.
So basically, just have a conversation with the son and back off.
Yeah, ask questions and see. Oh, well, I mean, you can lead a conversation just by asking questions.
There you go. All right, that's Dear John. Poor John. All right, let's go to chat before we end things. Brooke Jolly with the great, funny comment of the night. So we're all agreed that the best people to hang out with just choke women. That's a good one. Brooke he's a funny comedian, a provocateur comedian. I love it a lot. And Vinny, John's brother, says, David, if China from WWE, who's dead, so I'd be fine with that, or perhaps Caitlyn Jenner started beating you, would you not swing back? I would probably run. Honestly, I would run away.
He does bring up an interesting point.
Those who
about,
run.
Caitlyn Jenner could catch you, man.
She might. I guess.
I don't actually want you to answer this question until next week. So I'm going to give you a whole week to think about it.
Go ahead.
So don't answer it. This is like a tease. This is what the industry call a teaser.
Write it down.
We have to think about how your rules apply to transgender people. If you have special rules or not for them. So you'll have to tune in next week to find out.
I do not have an answer, so I will think about that, and we'll try to remember to talk about it with Leland State. That will be fantastic. I'm sure that'd be maybe 151. We'll talk about that one. Maybe 2 weeks.
Maybe Leland has strong opinions about that.
Leland may walk out if we start asking questions like that. So that has been episode 149. The cantankerous one, Lee, has been quite the mood today, I would say.
Me?
I mean, that's
brother, you came in on one.
I come on preaching the truth, brother. I only got love in my heart for everyone.
Except for Ohio, Pennsylvania.
And ugly people.
And ugly people.
I love ugly people.
And dudes that hit women.
I hang out with you too, so I love ugly people.
And soccer athletes that say F Trump.
I don't hate. I told you.
It's a love-hate relationship.
What's her last name?
You're trying to tell her how to live her life.
How you say her name?
Rapola?
Raponi? I don't even know.
Yes.
Anyway,
All I know is it's Rip something.
It's Raponi for sure.
Truthfully, if I had a chance to sit down with her and talk with her and have, I would love to. It would be. I think she's very. Rapino would be very fascinating to talk to.
He'd love to hang out with her because she's attractive.
Right, and so there we go. That was episode 149. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you have thoughts of your own, and hopefully you will let us know about that. And you can do that by going to our website, blameyourbro.com. If you go to that website, it's got all of our social media links. So hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Let us know what you thought about the episode. If you agree with me or Lee or John, I don't know. He really had a hardcore stance. But let us know, or his advice if you think it's good or bad. But you can do that on social media. We're very active on all those. You can email us. There's a form on the website to do that. And if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, there is an Amazon link where you can click on that, go make all your purchases, and then we can get the kickback on it. So we would appreciate if you could find it in your time to do that. If you're going to buy something on Amazon, go to our website, do it, get it done. Tons of other links. And don't forget, we're streamed every Thursday. Radio Vegas rocks. If you go to radiovegas.rocks, you can listen to the show Thursday around 4 p.m. Central Time. And we're also on Coming Right Up. If you go to comingrightUp.org, we are streamed there Friday nights at 10 p.m., I believe, so you can get the new episodes. They just pull it from our feed. It does that. And we're on all the podcast platforms. Libsyn has hooked us up. They got us going. international, everything. We love it so much. So we hope you go check out the website. We hope you tell everyone about the show. Go rate it. Go review it. Tell all your friends. Share it with the world. And with that being said, Lee, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.